Yeah. YouTube. What's up, baby? Back in this thing again for another review. This is Q's Insight. I'm Callie, and today we're here to talk about a movie called The Lost Boys. Alright? Now, if you've been to this channel before, you already know how we do it. We started off with the premise, 3 favorite scenes, the grade, and then we home to the next one. My bad. Anyways, yeah, so I'm at work today. What can you do about it? But I wanted to come with some more content for you guys. So here we are. But today, like I said, we're going to be reviewing a movie called The Lost Boys. Now, this is a movie that is older, you know what I'm saying? Kind of back in the day, like when, you know, like the Goonies, stuff like that was out, right? Now, this is a classic vampire movie, all right? Classic. But yeah, let's hop into it. So, again, this is a review for The Lost Boys. The old one. With Kiefer Sutherland and, you know, everybody else, whatever, right? So for the premise of this movie, you have a family by the last name of the Emersons. It's a mother, right, that her name is Lucy. It's her son, Michael, and her other son as well, Sam. Now they're moving from one place to another. Now this new place that they're moving to, it just so happens that their grandfather lives there, so they're gonna be staying there with their grandfather. But you know, it's important to know that they kind of just don't really want to move from where they're at. They're really bummed out about having to move to a new place, not knowing nobody, you know. Also, the town that they're moving to, they kind of has a reputation of being a bummer. So they're not really looking forward to going there, right? But that's how the movie starts. We see them, all 3 of them, heading down to their grandfather's house, and then also, you know, Lucy, which would be her father's house, all right? So once we get down to this new town that they're going to be living in, we end up finding out that, and you know, I'm not going to spoil everything. I'm just going to kind of give you a brief basis of what it is. If you're interested into it, then go check it out. If you've already seen it, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But I don't want to spoil it. This is an older movie, so, you know, I wouldn't feel bad if I spoiled it too much. But still, I'd rather you, if you haven't seen the movie and you're interested in watching it after you hear the premise of the movie, go do so. So I'm just going to do a brief spoiler. But, you know, you have them coming to this new town, right? The situation of them not wanting to go there, right? Then when they get there, they end up finding out that there are vampires there, okay? And it just so happens that Michael, the older brother, ends up getting into a situation in which he is trying to befriend some of these vampires, not knowing that they are vampires at the time, but him just being so infatuated with this girl named Star. So this girl named Star actually runs with Kiefer Sutherland, which is his character's name on the movie is David. So he runs with them, and she runs with them and his crew. All right. So you basically have Michael trying to fit in to get the girl. All right. Mixed within that, he ends up stumbling into becoming a vampire, and Michael and also his younger brother Sam end up finding out that this town, there's vampires here. All right, not everybody knows about it, but this town, there are vampires here. All right. So within Michael becoming a vampire, him and his brother are tasked within hiding this situation from, their mother, their grandfather, as well as in trying to find a way to, get rid of this vampire situation that Michael's in, because he is now a vampire. Also to, get rid of the situation that has now occurred between Michael and David and David's followers, right? Michael wants to keep his family safe. So that's basically the premise of the movie right there. I don't want to spoil too much. So 3 of my favorite scenes, and this may be out of order, and this will definitely be spoilerish. So if you haven't seen the movie and you want to see it, stop this video now. Go check out the movie, then come back over here. If you already seen this movie, then you'll know what I'm talking about. If you don't mind, if you haven't seen the movie, that you're hearing some of these scenes that are my favorite scenes that could be spoilerish, then, welcome to the party. All right, so 3 of my favorite scenes. So one, I'll start off with the scene where the character Marco, he ends up getting stabbed while being in the cave when it's they're in their sleep mode, right? The vampires are in their sleep mode, hanging from a cave above, in the top of the cave. You have Sam and Edgar and Alan Frog going to this cave in order to hunt these vampires down, because they're trying to hunt them down and also protect, Sam is trying to protect his older brother Michael. So they go into the cave, and when they get into the cave, they end up seeing all the vampires hanging up on the top of the cave, like just nesting, whatever, right? So I forgot if it was, I think it was probably Edgar. Edgar ends up taking one of the, I can't even remember one of the stakes, and stabbing Marco, and then he ends up just dying. But the way that he dies is just like so surreal. Like all this like fluid just shoots out everywhere, bro. And it's just like, this is like one of the situations where you're just kind of figuring out that, like, for sure, David and the rest of his, brothers, whatever you want to say, his family, whatever, they're really like vampires. Like, it could have all just been like, just a hoax this whole time. But this is like, he stabbed them, and blood or liquid is shooting out everywhere. Dudes are really vampires. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was a crazy scene. So that was my first favorite scene. My second favorite scene definitely has to be the situation where in which Michael races David, and as Michael's racing David, he's also racing like David and his family as well. But he's just mainly racing David to kind of get like fit in with the squad, you know what I'm saying, and also kind of show off so that way he can make Star like him. You know what I'm saying? So the race that they all have on the bikes while they're riding on the beach, into whatever other terrains that they go through, right? Like, it was a crazy, and the music that they have playing with it, bro, like, I like rock, you know what I'm saying? Even though I'm black, I like rock. So like the music they have playing in the background, crazy. Like, it just makes the scene even greater, you know what I'm saying? But that was my second favorite scene, just that whole like race that they had, like, you know what I'm saying? Right before they start testing Michael. All right, so my second favorite scene. So now my third favorite scene would be when we see David and his brothers actually go on a hunt. They go on a hunt on the beach and basically feed off of these people that are at like a bonfire on the beach, bro. They just this is the first time you see all of them transform. You know what I'm saying? And the transformations are pretty drastic, and they are pretty horrifying. You know what I'm saying? Especially for the time of when this movie came out. Um, you know, when I was able to see this movie, of course I was too young to see it when it first came out, but I saw this movie, and every time I would watch it, bro, it would get to a certain point where I'm talking about right now, where David and his family would go feast on the people that's partying at the bonfire on the beach. Every time it would get to that scene, my grandma would tell me like, "Hey, go to bed." You know what I'm saying? But she would let me. The crazy thing is, she would let me see the part with Michael and Star like basically making love in the bed. But as soon as you know what I'm saying, you see David and his family like about to go roam and about to go on an attack on the people at the bonfire on the beach. She would always tell me to leave. And I remember the first time that I was able to see the rest of the movie. And when I first saw that scene, bro, it scared me to death, bro. Like it scared me, bro. Like that, like I said, the transformations are pretty drastic, and just that scene, like the way that they're feasting on the people at the bonfire, bro, is crazy. Like it's not just some regular, like I'm just gonna suck some blood through your neck. Like nah, like they go pretty ham on this scene. So yeah, that scene always sticks with me. That scene always sticks with me. So that'll be my third favorite scene. All right. Now, of course, I love this movie, man. This is a classic movie, man. A movie that I've watched so many times throughout my life. And it's just, it's one of those movies where I go back and I at least watch it at least once a year. At least once a year, if not multiple times a year. I at least watch it once a year. You know what I'm saying? It's just one of those, it's the grown up version of the Goonies. All right, it's the grown-up version of the Goonies. Plain and simple. The grown-up version of the Goonies with vampires. Plain and simple, bro. Plain and simple. And so, if you like vampires, or if you like the Goonies, or movies that are somewhat similar to the Goonies, you're gonna love this movie. You know what I'm saying? So, whether you've seen it before, I would suggest go back and watch it again. If you haven't seen it, hopefully this review makes you interested enough to go and check it out, because it's definitely worth your time. Definitely above average movie. So for the grade for this, man, being that it's a cult classic, being that I love this movie, being that it's like such an original vampire movie, like being that this is like the vampire movie that you should watch. If you never like the first vampire movie you ever watched, this should be it. This should be it. Like it's extraordinary, bro. It's extraordinary. It's an extraordinary film, bro. Just every aspect of this movie breathes perfection, bro. I promise you. I promise you, you will not be disappointed in this movie. But because of all that being said, I'm happy to give this movie a 10 out of 10, bro. So 10 out of 10 for this movie for me. So definitely above average. It's a perfect. It's a perfect, baby. A plus 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 plus. So definitely go check this movie out if you haven't seen this. If you have seen this movie, go check it out again. It's worth the rewatch. I'm pretty sure if you've seen this movie before, I wouldn't have to tell you that. You've probably already seen it a million times. All right. But yeah, 10 out of 10 for me. You heard the premise of the movie. You heard my favorite scenes. Like I said, you heard the grade as well. So go check it out. Go check it out. That, like I said, definitely, I highly, highly recommend this movie. This is one of those movies. Like I said, if you like vampire movies, or if you like the Goonies, this is the movie, bro. Whether it's old or not, it still holds up to this day. Classic. And I would really like to see them redo this movie. Even though it was perfect back then, I want to see what they can do with all the type of like technology that we have nowadays. Or even if they were to do like CGI, or some like practical effects, or a mixture of both, whatever. I would just love to see it redone today. Because there are two other Lost Boy movies that came out after this, like way after this, but they're not worth the time. That I will not recommend. But the first Lost Boys movie, yes, I recommend that all day, all day. Just watch that 3 times, and that way you don't have to watch the other 2 movies that came out after this. I think it's either 1 or 2 other movies that came out after this, but both of them are trash. Both of them are trash. Just only watch Lost Boys. Believe me. But yeah, if you saw this movie, let me know what some of your favorite scenes were. What would you grade this movie? Is this one of your favorite vampire movies? Would you like to see this movie be remade? Let me know about that in the comments down below. All right, and if you do watch the movie after you see this, let me know what you thought about the movie. All right, please remember to like, subscribe, and share. As always, this is Q's Insight. I'm Callie. Until next time.